So now we're on the CBR1000 and we find ourselves in another situation where Brian, a 15-year veteran of the motorcycle industry, we are doing, told you guys we're removing the oil. We got the oil drained out. Second step is to take the oil filter off.
Filter comes out dry. No oil inside the filter.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Wreck Bike Rebuild Garage. Behind me, I have the CBR1000. So, real quick before we get into all of this beautiful goodness, this is Wreck Bike Rebuild Garage. If you don't know about it, it's the show where we take wreck bikes, turn them into dream bikes, and then we give them away. The way we are able to give motorcycles away that we build and shovel tons of time and money into is from our beautiful people over on Patreon. If you want to check out longer episodes, early episodes, and get a potential chance of winning the motorcycle, we would love you guys to check it out if you want to. So, top link down below is going to...
Wow, not sure where that came from.
Opportunity presented. So.
Holy cow!
If you guys want to check Patreon out, we would love it. That's how we actually run this show. So, let me get focused on me. Top link down below. If you can't check it out, don't worry. We do all these YouTube videos for free for you anyway. In today's episode, Chase does not get hit by a giant piece of gaff tape, but you guys probably haven't seen this bike in a long time, and that's because we had all these plans of we got a new lift on the way. It's been taking longer because of the world that we're in right now. So we were going to build this at Brian's house, blah, blah, blah. It's a long story. Not even going to get into it. We finally just kind of decided, whatever, let's start digging into this. This is our big motorcycle that we're all super excited about. If you guys don't remember what we're going to do on this thing, we're making it into a street fighter with these custom fairings that we have ideas for. There's a build episode. So down below, there's going to be a playlist for only CBR1000 episodes. So if you guys are not interested in our CBR600 or our 300 that we're all building at the same time, and you only want to know about the 1000, you can click down there and watch that. But as far as today's video goes, if you don't remember what's wrong with this engine, fair, no.
That's another hit in the nuts.
No, slap the arm. Negative reinforcement. Woo! Okay, not gonna do that word a lot. All right, guys, so it's been a while. So if you guys don't remember, the issue with this motorcycle, I mean, look at it. I mean, it's got this little crack boy, but it really doesn't look like a bike that we typically call a wrecked bike. But if we crank this bike up, you would hear some really weird noises out of that engine. Based on what I've heard from a lot of you guys, y'all have had this problem on y'all's bikes before, so I'm hoping that us fixing this bike in the engine is going to be a pretty helpful video for a lot of you guys out there that have CBR1000s that make really weird noises. So the main part of this bike that is wrecked is the engine. So to get to the engine, we first got to do our initial disassembly, and that's what we're going to focus on today. We got a couple things to focus on. Remove the fairings, remove the gas tank cover, remove the gas tank, remove the air box, remove the exhaust that includes the headers in there. Then we transition to over here. We remove the drive chain. We are done after that.
We are taking the whole exhaust system off.
Yes. Headers, exhaust, drive chain, some of the fairings. We're gonna leave the front boy fairings on. We're gonna leave the subframe on because
we don't need to mess with it right now.
if you guys can't see, we have a lot of parts in the garage for all the builds. This is something that we are realizing that having 3 builds going on at one time is a lot, but we're trying to be super organized, and we have to be, because these are all CBR 600 parts. That is a nerd chart.
That's a nerd chart.
That's a nerd chart. This, you guys like this? This is all of our 300 parts. Organization is absolutely key. So without talking anymore, we're gonna get to work on taking this all apart. Brian, you wanna start with fairings? Because it's a sport bike. That's the fun of it.
Step one, seat, battery.
Seat, battery, check, go. Guys, we just took the gas tank cover off.
It's got oil in it.
Oh, thank God. So this was just on the gas tank inside, and we're all like, bro, why would, if that's gonna be on this, you're not gonna see this. Stupid, okay. Thought the bike didn't have oil in it, that'd have been bad. All right.
That'd been really no big deal. We're gonna take it apart and rebuild it anyway.
That's a good point. Gas tank cover's off, seats off, batteries off. Next up is, we're just gonna go gas tank?
Straight to the fuel cell.
Ooh, fuel cell. What's your terminology? I like it. All right, guys, so we just got the first side fairing. Wow, this thing is literally about to fall to pieces. Got the first side fairing off with all the secondary air stuff.
Yeah, secondary air valve.
Notice that the frame slider hole that they cut was a little interesting. Also, that this thing got LEDs. Also, I saw them right under there too.
Oh, look at that.
So somebody had this thing glowing up.
Way to fix that.
Well, it had LEDs, it used to. So yeah, fairings are off, or half the fairings are off so far. And I was telling Brian a second ago, you know, we want to make this thing into a Street Fighter, and we've got this idea for these custom fairings, but I'm realizing as we're taking this thing apart, so we have this ram air duct that we're gonna now, that's just one extra thing that we're gonna have to figure out how that's gonna work in with the, I keep calling them custom fairings, but they're not custom fairings. They're like made for another motorcycle that we're gonna try to make on this. Anxiety is rising as we're taking more stuff off. Something else to note, the ram air duct that was here. So Brian, the bike is going down the road. Air is coming into the motorcycle in from here, and then this pushes it into the airbox, right?
Right, that's the tube that feeds one side of the airbox. Right. There's two, one on each side.
Oh, okay, so we noticed on this side, if you guys can tell, so this thing got installed incorrectly and was just, it had pressed on this for so long that it bent it in place. This thing should be bent down.
Yeah, this should be open like this.
Right.
So that ram air tube can fit in there cleanly.
Right. This is kind of why we do episodes like this, where we start just meticulously taking things apart, because you get a much better idea of how the bike has been run, how it's put together, put back together. So it's little things we're finding. That's pretty much it that we found so far. Engine shifted a little bit when we took the frame slider out, but got it back in, at least for the next, until the next episode when we're actually doing the engine
just to
stuff.
Keep everything where it's supposed to be for now.
Yep. So, who did it? Who did the...
I'll give you one guess.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
He wasn't even looking. Wasn't even looking. Okay, so next up, we have the other side of the fairings. Also, I forgot to mention to you guys, one of the things that I am super thankful for, knowing how much engine stuff we're gonna have to get to on this motorcycle, We teamed up with a website called eManual. You can get manuals for your motorcycles. If you guys watched my MT10 video the other day, doing stuff with a manual is game changing. It tells you everything you have to do. It tells you all your correct torque specs. So I think we have a discount code for them. So if you guys are doing serious jobs like we're gonna be doing on the engine, highly recommend a manual. Granted, Brian is our living manual.
I'd still need a manual.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how important those things are.
Not a job you could do without a manual.
So if you guys need a manual for your motorcycle, they don't have a manual for everything out there, but they do have tons of manuals on there. We'll leave a link down below. They're gonna be absolutely clutch when we get a couple more episodes down. We're gonna get to the other side. After the fairings, are we doing exhaust or the radiator or the gas or air filter?
So I think just to,
Airbox.
for ease of use at this point, just to keep everything flowing, we're gonna get the drain plugs out of everything.
Get the fluids going.
While the fluids are draining, we'll go ahead and tackle the airbox.
Cool, so fairings, airbox, fluids. Let's go. That was a lot of excitement for something that probably doesn't need excitement. Alright, ladies and gents, check it out. It looks like a Street Fighter stunt bike. Side fairing is off. We ended up taking off the head because there's only 2 bolts and all of the wiring for the front mount was just like all right there. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and take you off. Took a little detour on that. 2 bolts, and then those are the plugs that were on, and we were already there, so figured why the heck not. Now we're going to move on to getting the fluids removing, and we'll move on to the airbox from there.
Bag this hardware too.
Ziploc bags and Sharpies. If you guys are taking a lot of shit apart, especially on these stupid super sports that have a million little bolts, Ziplocs and Sharpies. You can never have too many. Okay, next up.
Is it?
You guys ready for some bullshit? Oh boy. We've already had one what was with the 300 when we took the engine apart, you had never seen that much metal
on an engine that runs.
So now we're on the CBR1000 and we find ourselves in another situation where Brian, a 15-year veteran of the motorcycle industry, we are doing, told you guys we're removing the oil. We got the oil drained out. Second step is to take the oil filter off.
Filter comes out dry. No oil inside the filter.
Like this area is bone dry. So
we've got a leaky fork seal too.
that's the least of our worries at this point.
Oh yeah, oil coming out over there, but not in there.
In the filter, yeah.
I mean, just generally, where does your head go when you see that?
My initial thought would be that there's an issue with the oil pump or the oiling lines are clogged. A lot of these high-performance engines, if your oil filter gets clogged and it creates enough pressure internally in the engine because it's not getting past the filter, there is a relief valve inside that allows the oil to bypass the filter. So if there's something clogged in here, it is still going to continue and oil your motor. It's not going to filter it. What caused that to happen is at this point a complete mystery.
Yep.
That's That's a good one. Learn something new every day.
Every single time we bring a bike on, it's like we always have this like, oh yeah, that's the problem. And then something. I don't even think we've run into it with the 600 yet. There's gonna be something.
I don't think that's possible because there's the 600. I'm pretty sure we're going through.
So should we put the filter back on just for now?
Now it's dry, nothing's gonna come out, just leave it off. It's not gonna make a mess, nothing's gonna do it.
Literally no point. Okay.
You're gonna put the drain plug back in.
Yeah. All right, guys. We just wanted to. By the way, when the oil came out, there was a little bit of metallics in the oil, but nothing close to the 300. So yeah, when we started draining the oil, that wasn't the tell of the problem. It was the dry ass oil filter. So we're gonna remove the coolant now, and hopefully there's coolant in the bike. That'd be cool. Lint. I suck. I'm sorry. We're gonna continue. I just had to update you guys. Gee. Alright guys, we got all the liquids out of the motorcycle. Looked like we had the right amount of oil. Coolant got drained out really quickly, and it doesn't look like the bike was correctly filled with the right amount of coolant. But hey, at this point, it had coolant in it, so it's a win. Brian is still looking at the oil situation because we don't know what's going on with that. But we're gonna move on. We gotta move on. We're gonna be taking the radiator off. And after that, we're going to be taking off the, you said full exhaust, right? The headers and the exhaust? Okay. We're going to remove the radiator, remove the header/headers, however the hell many there are, and we'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, radiator removed, cleanage up of all the coolant because it went everywhere. Brian, why is one of these fans considerably smaller than the other one?
Because it doesn't fit if it was any bigger.
All right, moving on, we have the exhaust system, which includes the header. What's the end of the exhaust called?
Silencer.
Oh, okay. We got the headers and the silencer of the full exhaust system. That is next on our to-do list. Look at all the carnage.
The other day when I was here working on my Roadstar, I had to remove the exhaust system to get some other parts off. I reused my exhaust gaskets. Yeah. Now, the style of exhaust gaskets that Yamaha uses is like stacks of stainless steel wrapped in a copper jacket. I was talking to Luke about, not everybody uses that style of gasket, that Honda uses one that's pretty much like a copper donut. And then when you put it in and you tighten it down, it just smashes it flat. So these are a one-time use, whereas the ones that are used on my Yamaha you could use them a couple times.
Donuts are one-time uses for me as well.
Yep, in one end and out the other.
Oh, you say we're talking about random things? Let us know what your favorite donut place is in the comments. I love ruining my comments with random answers to questions. Okay, so exhaust has been removed.
And
the drive chain has been totally removed. The swing arm is in fully perfect condition.
What? What else did you remove?
Front sprocket cover, shift top part.
Shift top part.
Shift top part. We didn't remove anything else, did we?
No, you cut that chain off.
I got a little trigger happy with the chain, because sometimes you can file a chain down and like pull out a slot and then be all fancy with it, and I just wanted to cut that thing off. So that's off, and now all we got to do is remove the air box, and boys, we're full send on the day. Brian, you ready to remove the air box? Luke looks excited.
I'm ready to take this whole engine apart today.
Oh my god, today.
Don't tempt me.
No.
Why did you put that in the world?
On another day
Air
of
tools
wrecked
here?
bike
That'd be a wrap.
rebuild. Nope. Guys, high on gas on two wheels here, and airbox in all of its glory with its velocity stacks has been removed. All the team is sufficiently high off of the gasoline. We have covered up the throttle bodies. Really? God. Throttle bodies are covered up with the blue rags. That is just so we don't get anything in them, even though the next episode we're going to be working on this bike, so it's not going to go anywhere. But, to be safe, we're... Just so we're clear. $5,000, $5,000, $1,000, $4,000, $100.
Do you know how much trouble you're going to get in the shop big enough to fuck around like that?
These are all reasons we don't need a bigger shop than what we're in. Okay, so with the airbox removed, that is the last part of the day that we planned on getting to here on day 3 of this build. We do have a long way to go, but in the next episode, we've ordered a specialty tool to get into here. We can't get the engine out until we get that specialty tool, but luckily the thing's only like $8 on Amazon, so it's gonna be here by Wednesday. So on the next episode, you guys can watch us get this engine out. Brian, you think getting the engine out this whole episode?
No, not even close.
Do you think we can get the engine out and start assessing what the F?
Absolutely.
I don't know what's gonna be on the next episode. It's probably gonna have something to do with the engine. We will bring you guys along with. But for you guys that got to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching the entire video. We really appreciate it. And something we also appreciate is you guys destroying that like button like the Luke destroyed the... that thing. Yeah.
Still works.
Outro crew, let us know if you guys have ever taken an oil filter off of a motorcycle and it was bone dry. Terrifying! It'll also be interesting to find out what you guys think is wrong with the motorcycle in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for getting to the end of the video. Subscribe if you like motorcycle content and you want to see what the rest of this build looks like. Remember, we have a 2008 Honda CBR1000 build playlist only, so you guys can keep up with this build. I'm gonna go. Things are just going to pieces here in the garage, so I need to get out of here. All right, thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one.